Hello and welcome back to the Homesteading series on Bloomfield, Canada. You join me as I back up to our plow over here. I park the trailer right in the way because that's just what I do. That's what I'm good at. I'm good at parking things in the way of other things. If you didn't know, now you know. That's one thing that I excel at, is making things more difficult for myself. So if you didn't catch the last episode, we got our chickens. Well, we bought our chickens. We got them here. We bought them a lot of food. Man, were they hungry. Hungry boys and girls. So they're all taken care of. We've got tomatoes growing in our greenhouse just across the way. And just one thing I want to talk about. If you have not been on this map, if you haven't downloaded it and just ran around, I would highly suggest doing that. It is a beautiful, beautiful map. It's got a lot to offer for a lot of different things. There's a lot of forestry. You've got some big fields, you got some small fields. Everything's pretty reasonably priced. Like all these areas that I started with, 66,000 because that's a forestry area, 40,000 for this clearing here, 22,000. That farm's buyable. These houses are buyable. Like different plots of land for different role-playing types of things. So you could actually buy this house down here. You could buy, I think this is a parking lot. The only things that you can't really buy is the actual town itself. And some of the sell points. You can't buy those. But you've got this massive field 22 is the largest field on the map. And it's weirdly shaped. Like, it's not super weirdly shaped. It's got mostly square edges, but there's a lot of them. You got a couple that are on diagonals, a couple of rectangles. It's a beautiful map, and unfortunately, being the small farm, small scale things, I kind of have to cut out most of the travel time just because it takes so long to get places, especially if we're going in the tractor. But it is what it is. You can't really win them all. And I know you'd probably be saying, "Toman, you wouldn't have GPS on a little tractor like this." And whoever says that, they make auto steer that clips onto steering wheels that you can put on any year of tractor, as long as it's got a 12-volt power supply. And I'm sure you could even get a 6-volt power supply version if you really wanted to. You can do it. The type of equipment that's out there for farming nowadays is just absurd. Like, there's just so much. So this is just a small 3-furrow plow. As you can see, it's not very wide. Not very wide at all. And the last furrow doesn't even really work by the looks of it. So that's great. Well, it's a 2-furrow plow with a 3rd furrow cutting in every once in a while, which is nice. It's real nice. So I do have stones and I have weeds and everything like that turned on in this series as well. So it's we're definitely not going to be getting into this field to do anything really productive anytime soon. But it's just something to do, especially before winter here. Get a field down and started. We are probably just going to end up planting grass back into this field. Yeah, like I eventually would like to start making hay. We could probably then sell our hay. And if we want to get horses, I do want to get horses. I never really give horses a shot. And I really don't like how they've done their feeding now, where oats kind of make hay useless. I'm not a big fan of that. Because I did like you needed both. But the fact that you don't even really need hay anymore, especially for horses, because like horses are the hay burner. Like, they're hay burners. That's their name. That's what a lot of people call them, is hay burners. But I would like to get into horses. I'm not sure exactly how you make money with horses in this game. I'm not sure if it's by boarding them, like it was in Seasons in 19, or if it's I'm not sure if they can even reproduce. I can't remember. I will have to go watch a video on that, because that's just how little I've done horses. But I think horses would be a cool little thing to do. I would also like to do cattle as well. I like doing sheeps. If you've watched any of my series, I always seem to incorporate sheeps in the small farms, or not the small farm series, but in the Waldstein, one of my other series. I've got sheep on that in the small scale farming over in Germany over there, and in my Riverview farms. That one I've also got sheep. They're kind of on the back burner for the most part, but they're still there. They're still there. They produce a lot of wool. Speaking of the Riverview Farms, the organic farm series, I'm still doing it. This series is not replacing it. It's just I get a little burned out on that series. Because it's not necessarily my type of play style. I wanted to try something a little bit different by doing organic. And as cool as it is, it's just, I think it would probably be a little bit better with precision farming, but it would be also very difficult at the same time with precision farming. So I'm kind of torn on that. And also it's just, I don't know, it's more of the same, I find. I know you guys enjoy it, so that's why I'm keeping it out there, and I do enjoy playing it. It's just, it's a lot of course play and it takes a lot of time. It's they're very big fields, and it just takes a lot of time, and unfortunately time isn't something that I always have readily available. Right now I've got a couple days off here. I've got my podcast that I gotta do, the Towing Life podcast. If you guys didn't know, I do a Towing Life podcast as well. I gotta record that tomorrow and I edit it as well. Yeah, like I've got a bunch of stuff going on, and I'm also trying to I just bought a plow in real life because I want to start working some of my own land here. I've got 105 acres in central Ontario that I'd eventually like to start doing. Kind of what I want to do on this series is just do what you can with what you got and see what works and see what doesn't, right? You got a little bit of money coming in, and farming's a hobby, and you just want to, make the best of it. Right? You're not going to be a millionaire, but if you can retire off it, even better. So as you can see, this is a pretty slow going process. This plow is not very big at all. I think I might also have to do something with my offset that I've got going on. But it is what it is. We've got the horsepower for it, which is the biggest downfall, is only having 50 horsepower. It limits us a great deal on what we actually can use. But this is an old relic. This shouldn't even really be being used right now. It should be on display on someone's farm. And it probably will be on display on my farm here in a little while. But for right now, it still needs to put in work. It doesn't get to retire yet. So, as long as one of the furrows doesn't break right off and says, "See you later, Tollman," I'll be happy. I will be happy. And here we are. It's taken a little while. It's a very small plow. We did miss a fair bit here and there and everywhere. I originally didn't really want it to come out this far, but we kind of made it come out this far. um, just with how plows work, because the first furrow's ahead of the rear furrow, so to get everything that you want behind, you keep gotta going forward. Yeah, I it yeah. I butchered explaining that because it's kind of self-explanatory. So you get lines like that where it keeps jetting out. I will come back off camera. Maybe, you know, I'll do it right now. Do it right now just so it looks a little bit better. Landscaping, painting, forest ground, grass. That's not bad over there. The jagged edges is fine. I can deal with that. It's just these big pieces here that bug me. I'm sure they bug you too. So I'm hoping this helps you as much as it helps me. And thankfully, so much, the creator of this map. Over here, you have short grass, you have medium grass. So you know how you're always stuck with putting down a meadow, which then gives you different colors of flowers and everything. You can just go short grass. Actually, I think that might be medium grass. Okay, so this grass over here, short grass. See how nothing's really changing? Medium grass, right? So the short grass and the medium grass is nice for like around your house and whatnot. This was a meadow, so meadow would look better, but I'm going to continue to put down short grass because it's right next to my field. A nice fresh new field. I want to take down some of those bushes, cover up some of that stuff. Take out those bushes there too. Put some grass back down into here. Perfect. I think that looks pretty good. That's actually a pretty good sized field when you look at it from up top. No, granted, it's nothing compared to this field. It's probably still one of the smallest fields on the map. If you look at it, that's our field. That's field 25. I say it's still a pretty good sized field. Field 46, I think, is bigger. Area 1.97 acres. What's this? 1.57 acres just for the whole plot of land. And we have not created the whole plot of land. Yeah. Yeah, it's a small field. It's a small field. I think field 29 would actually be smaller because that whole plot's just 1.1 acre. So we might have an acre here. Acre? Yeah. An acre size field, which to be honest with you isn't terrible. What are we gonna do with it? I don't know. I also forgot if I turn this off of allow crate fields or not. Limit to fields. There we go. Just to be on the safe side, I don't want to set her down and create a mess. We'll just zip right back through here. Plow worked pretty good. It's dirty, worn down. It could use a bath, and we don't have a pressure washer here. So I'll park it right back in the bush where I found it. Because, at least in the bush, some of the trees are blocking it from the weather. And granted, it would be getting the sap and stuff on it from the trees, but park it right back in here, out of sight, out of mind. It's done us good. I'll sit just like that. Now, what are we going to do with this field? Well, I've got a couple of different ideas on what to do. We'll turn the tractor off to save some fuel. We could do potatoes. Now, potatoes is going to be an absolute pain. I'm going to suffer big time if I do potatoes, especially in a field this size. If I was to do potatoes, I would want to do it a lot smaller scale. The problem is, we got everything. We can buy everything to do potatoes on a small scale. And it's fairly cheap too. Like, it's not bad. Potato technology, nothing like this. Like that, you gotta sell a lot of potatoes to make that kind of money back. I've got this in the survival series. That's 1,100. We've also got the potato lifter. Now that's 5,200. So all in all, just to get the two pieces of equipment that we need, the harvester and the planter, we're looking at 6,300 bucks. Now this, we get the extension on it, which I'm not sure if that brings up the price too. It brings it up another 200 bucks. So under 7 grand. And we can be in the field planting potatoes and harvesting potatoes without purchasing the potatoes in the first place. Now that's pretty low cost. Downfall is how do we pick it up? Well, we would have to pick it up with this shovel right here as of right now, because we don't own a tractor that has a front loader. And we would have to put it in that little John Deere trailer. Now that little John Deere trailer holds 2,500 liters. So small scale. Because I'm not sure how much does this shovel hold. 100 liters. So yeah, 25 shovels will fit in that trailer. That's a lot of shovels just for one trailer. Now the other thing that we can do is we can plant grass, or we can seed grass. Hay, whatever the case may be. And there is a seeder that is fairly cheap. We go down into the seeders. This is the one that I was using on the survival challenge time lapse, and we did just upgrade to this. That's 7 grand. That's still pretty expensive. Our whole potato money to get in and started in harvesting potatoes without buying the potatoes is that right there. That requires 35 horsepower. We have that. But there is also this guy. This guy requires 10 horsepower, and it's 3 meters. It's the exact same working width. I think it goes a lot slower too. It runs at 10 mile an hour or 10 kilometers per hour. And it's old school. It's like the same as our plow. It's old, but realistically, if we're only seeding grass, we're not going to really be using it that much. It's just going to be for grass, and that's about it. The other option we could do is hire someone to come in and seed grass, but that's not really something that I want to do. That gets to be a little bit more complicating and hearsay. I don't really want to do that. So that's real cheap. So cheap that we should buy it regardless and have it as a lawn ornament. But I'll leave that aside. We do have stones, so what can we do to pick up stones? Well, not much really. We could put this on the back of a 3-point. It still requires 180 horsepower though. So we're pretty much SOL there. Rollers, on the other hand, we could try the roller that we tried on the survival series, which was, apparently it's not in this section, but we do have a couple of rollers that are fairly cheap. This guy here, 50 horsepower, 2.6 meters, so yeah, like it is doable. We can roll. That one's 3 meters, requires 60 horsepower. That one's 5,000, almost $6,000. This one's 3 meters well, requires 15 horsepower. That's $2,000. So we do have rollers that we could push the seeds back, or the stones back into the ground. But yeah, and then especially if we are doing arable, harvesters are not cheap. Definitely not cheap. And the harvester that I used that started off the survival series, I don't really want to use that one again. It was nice and cheap. It was right at the end, I think. Yeah, this guy here, it's $12,000. I don't know, I just don't really like the look of it. Does it do the job? Sure it does. I just don't really like it. It's got a horrible turning circle. We've also got this guy. It's cheap. Like real cheap. But apparently it needs 310 horsepower. Oh, it has 310 horsepower. Never mind. Yeah, because it's got its own motor there. So you just gotta pull it. And then you would also need a header. And I do have the header. That is hers off the side. The header goes off the one side, and that's just, yeah. So then we're looking at the John Deere combines again, like the smaller, cheaper ones. This is the one that we bought in the survival series. It's a really good combine. It does everything you need it to, but I wouldn't want to buy that one. So that means we're stuck with probably the 4400 here. It's a good combine too. It's from the 70s. It's got a 65 or 6,540 liter tank in it. Gas motor to begin with. Like, it's not bad. It does the job. So we definitely have a lot of options and a lot of potential on what to do. Now we do have, I think I'm going to hop into the Gator here and we'll just take a little rundown. The tractor's already out. We're just going to take a little quick run down the road here so I can show you guys my other plot of land that we've got that we could probably make into a field fairly soon. Like, we've got all this forest here that we could do something with too eventually, but that's a big undertaking to start clearing forests. So I don't really want to do that right now, at least. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to ask you guys for your opinion. Now, hopefully I don't record another episode before this one actually airs, but I don't know. Depending on my schedule, I might actually have to record one. But please do let me know down below in the comments. If you'd like me to do potatoes, I'll do potatoes. If you like to watch me suffer, I will do potatoes for you. Or if we should just do hay. We also have this section right up to the tree line. And it goes right down the side of this cornfield as well. So this is a pretty big area too. I think overall we could have a lot bigger field here. Or we could have a couple of smaller fields, like maybe cut off this section to the right, like dead ahead, and do that as potatoes. Now I don't want to get too tight to our neighbor's field here, field 12. So even if it's just a couple of strips back and forth of potatoes, just to have a different type of income coming into the farm. I guess we could also access this from the field 12 access, which is right here. That'd probably be a better thing to do. So we do have a lot more room. I don't want to get right into plowing that field out right now, because, you know, I don't want to get everything done in one episode. It's a slower paced farm, so I don't know. I think we should definitely buy that seeder regardless. It's $250. Like, it's not much. So I think I'm actually going to run down to the store right now and buy it, because having a seeder is better than not having a seeder, and $250 is not going to sway me going one way or the other regardless. It's $250. Like, it's not bad. Works at 10 kilometers an hour. We'll buy that. It'll be at the shop waiting for us. So we still have over $4,000. We'd have enough to buy the potato planter. We do also would potentially need to put down lime and fertilizer. The fertilizer is a little more important to me. Or sorry, the lime's a little bit more important to me than the fertilizer. But as you can see, we got some small stones in there. It needs lime. And it doesn't actually have any fertilizer, which is kind of a shame. I thought when you plowed in fields like that, it would come with fertilizer, but I guess not. Beggars can't be choosers. So our one field's got no fertilizer, needs lime, it's got stones in it. We got a lot to do. Obviously we won't be planting until spring, no matter what we do. But so we've got a couple of months to figure out exactly what we're going to be putting in the ground, what we want to do. I would prefer to do hay, but like I said, we've got that complete other field. Right? Just because I want to get into livestock, cows, sheep, horses, whatever the case may be. I don't really want to get into pigs because pigs are big on grain. I definitely do like pigs, but being on the small farm, especially in this game, having to feed them everything to get them to reproduce properly, kind of puts you behind the 8 ball, I find. If you could feed 2 of the things or buy bags of food for cheaper, or even give them like slop, because pigs will just literally eat everything. It it would probably be a little bit better. But as it sits, I just kind of want to stay away from pigs. We might also get into some bees. I know a lot of small farms do have beehives, which just adds as an extra income source, doing their own honey. So that's something that we could look into. And I'm not against productions, but like farm productions I like. I don't really want to get into outside like the carpentry and those types of things. Maybe dairy. If I can get it and put it on my farm, sure. Like the maple syrup trees, those types of things. Especially being in Canada, I think that's very fitting, and I think we're gonna go down that route eventually, is getting some maple syrup trees. It'd be rude not to, being in Canada and all. So, I don't know. Let me know what you are thinking down below in the comments. If we should put potatoes in that field that we just plowed, or if we should make a smaller field for some potatoes later down the road, and what we should focus on. A nice little seed drill. How much seed does it take again? 310 liters. Let's just buy 300 liters worth of seed so we have something. Can you buy the seeds in the 100-liter bags? No, you can only buy them in the 50-liter bags. That's kind of shitty. You know what? We're not going to buy that. No, not going to do it. In future, we could buy 1,000 liters of wheat for $1,400, which is definitely a lot more expensive than the other. Especially since those pellets that we do have of barley back at the farm for the chickens, they do not like being picked up. They just don't like being picked up. Using pallet forks with them, they get very glitchy and very buggy. So do I like using them? No, but it's like the theory of buying in bulk. So there is, I do have a couple of mods to where we can pick up big bags with a 3-point link. And I think I do also have a pallet fork version that hooks onto a 3-point link, but I'll have to look for it. So that could be a possibility of how we start moving pallets around without having to go out and buy a skid steer or a new tractor with a front loader or anything along the sorts of that. Because any more equipment, I would like to buy equipment that can work for this tractor. And buying new farm tractors or other pieces of kit like that is a very costly endeavor, especially since we haven't made any money off the farm yet. We're just putting money into it, especially our own money type thing. The farm is not self-sustainable. Once the farm gets self-sustainable, then we could probably think about throwing more money at it and buying newer and bigger and better tractors. But as of right now, we just gotta do what we can with what we have. Hope you guys understand that. And if you do understand that and you do like what you see, make sure to hit that like button down below. Let me know that I'm doing an A-OK job and you want to see more of this. With that also being said, if you don't want to see more of this, there's a dislike button down there too. Make sure to hit that button twice though, because it doesn't register all the time if you only hit it once. So make sure you hit it twice, just to make sure it actually works. Also, feel free to subscribe to my channel if you like me and you like what I'm doing here. You might as well hit that red subscribe button, turn it gray. Right? And my weird upload schedule should really ring that bell, so at least you get notified when I do actually upload. With that said, guys, it's been a great episode. We got our first field plowed. We bought a cedar, which is, for right now, just going to be a lawn ornament, but she's a beautiful lawn ornament regardless. She doesn't like going down the road too much. She hits the shoulder of the road and kicks up a couple of times. Hopefully that metal wheel doesn't give out. But with that being said, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Toodles!